Gobby.
How are you, my love?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. I'm all good. Oh,
This is my second live. I'm like a bit nervous.
yeah, you're safe with me. You're in good hands, babe. Who
Aww.
was the first live with?
With Marlin. He was in Love
Oh,
Island before. It was like a body positivity one. That was quite nice.
how are you finding all this, this lockdown and this situation that we're currently living in?
Do you know what? Like sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a bit of a timeout. I have no temptations to eat out. I could just concentrate on like dieting, working out at home. And then sometimes like I can't take it. I can't. Like today I was having one of those down days where I was just literally like, what's going on?
I'm glad it's because I definitely have them good and them bad days. And when it's them bad days, how do you cope with the bad?
Do you know, I just try and keep busy, try and not think about it. Because if I sit down and really think about it on a level where we're really stuck like this for now, I do you know because today I was having a group chat with Amber and you one day, and I was like, oh, in the summer when we go away, they were like, Hannah, we're not going away. I was like, in the summer we're not going away. She's like, I don't think we're going to be allowed to fly for 6 months.
I've heard that as well. Someone was telling me they don't reckon there'll be flights really until like New Year.
That just like I literally just heard that about half an hour ago, and I was like, I'm just still trying to process that.
Because
So
it's something to look forward to, isn't it? I bet you think you're
yeah,
like, a lovely holiday.
it's my 30th birthday as well in the summer.
Oh,
But I mean, in terms of coping, I'm just trying to keep busy. I took up new things, like how I'm just jumping on the bandwagon with the baking and
yeah. What have you baked so far?
muffins. They're in the oven right now, actually.
Oh, are they? What flavour did you go for?
I just chocolate chip.
Oh, lovely. You can't go wrong with chocolate chip.
No. What have you been doing?
So I've just kind of been I've really thrown myself into my Get Gobby with Bobby. So every evening, chatting with a different celebrity, seeing how they're kind of coping with lockdown. Just a touch of just a good general chat. 'Cause I think it's so important that we remember that some people are actually isolating alone, or even if they're not alone, they could be feeling alone. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes
100%.
one of the worst things is to be around people but still feel lonely. There's nothing lonelier than that. And yeah, when creating it, it was just a kind of thought, you know, I want to, because we didn't know how long this whole lockdown was going to be and the whole isolation situation. And I've had so many messages from people going, you know, this has helped my loneliness. Like, I feel it's good for my mental health. Like, I feel less depressed. That I can just watch a Get Gobby with Bobby and have a giggle, have a laugh, and see how other people are getting through it. Because I think
That's
it's just
amazing. That's amazing. Even if it just helps like a handful of people, that's just enough.
that's what I
We
think.
all gotta help each other through this.
Massively. So did I read something? Have you gone back into, because you was a qualified pharmacist, wasn't you?
Yeah, before Love Island I was. And
Incredible.
then obviously I came out of it for, busy with the post Love Island stuff. And I was always gonna kind of go back part-time anyway one day because I did study really hard to do it. But then I thought this is the perfect time to kind of ease my way back into it because at the same time I could help. I felt so guilty not doing it. I was like, why am I not doing anything? So yeah, part-time.
Because especially to have that skill, because that can't be an easy degree to get.
Oh God, it was bloody hard. It took me 5 years masters.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. How did it feel first day getting back into, so is it a chemist you work in?
Yeah, my God, when I went back on the first day, it almost felt like the last year's not happened. Like, was I even on Love Island? It was such a weird feeling going back on the first day because it was in the pharmacy I used to work in as well. So
Oh, really?
yeah, it was such a weird feeling. It's like the whole of the last year was just a dream.
Oh, how fun is that? And is there still a lot of the same staff there from when you was there?
Yeah, but things have changed now because obviously they have to wear masks and only one person can come in at a time. So it's a bit different, but
Do you feel they treat you any different post Love Island?
no, they're amazing. No, I was wearing my mask and someone came in and was like, "Are you Anna from Love Island?" They could recognize you from just my eyes.
And it's funny what people recognise.
I
I
know.
I've got, I think mine's voice, so people will hear me from the next door and they walk around and they go, we knew you were speaking, like I could be getting McCravendale.
Yeah. I can tell
And
your
I
voice
hear
is.
your voice, and I was like, oh, and even today, so I've been over to a couple of 2 or 3 hospitals, just was donating just a few of these Isolation with the Nations t-shirts. I've got my quarantine at the
Quarantine.
minute, got to be done, and just a load of care packages for the NHS staff, because I think it
Oh,
goes without saying what is being done is just incredible by every single person, as well as all frontline workers.
yeah.
But it's so incredible and amazing that NHS are willing to put their healths and their lives and everything at risk
And
to help us. So I thought it'd be nice to do that. And I was just bent over the table sorting out t-shirts, and someone said, "Oh, have you got a size medium?" And I went, "Oh yeah, I've got a couple of them." And she was like, "Oh my God, is that you, Bobby?" Like literally could only see by my voice. And she went, "I knew the minute you spoke through a mask." So I kind of thought it's one of them voices. Can be a blessing, can be a
your
curse.
voice
You
is
know what I
really
mean?
distinctive. Yeah, your voice is definitely distinctive. But I just think, do you not think it's amazing how everyone's come together though? Like, just not only just frontliners, like even people like you or everyone have just like, you know, in the pharmacy, I've had so many volunteers come in and just, you know, just want to help out and drop people's medicines off and stuff. I'm like, it's amazing.
That's lovely that people are doing that for what, for people that can't get out, because it's the
Yeah.
elderly. What is the elderly situation? They can't. Is it 3 or 6 months they're not meant to?
So I think it's 6 months they're not meant to. Yeah. And they can't come to pick up their own medication, or if they need something, they can't do it. And there's people that have put in, you know, their names and numbers. So if anyone needs anything dropped off, just let us know. And it's amazing.
I definitely think we've seen that community spirit with so many people, which is
Yeah.
really nice. I mean, not to take away from how obviously bad it would have been years ago in a war, but I kind of feel like there is, if I was alive in them times. I know it sounds a bit weird, but I imagine this is what the kind of wartime spirit felt like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just without obviously the bombs and the more horrific things, because when you hear people complaining, then yeah, we can all sit here and go, "Do you know, I feel bored, I feel this, I feel that." But actually, when them moments hit me, I think, yeah, Bob, you might feel bored, but think about them staff that are out there and they're doing 14 hours, 16-hour shifts,
Exactly.
and they're out there doing that. And I think, gosh, we've got to sit here and
You've
sit
got
on
to
this
keep
throne
reminding
or let.
yourself.
Yeah, you
You've
have to
got to
remember
keep
you
reminding
are
yourself.
lucky, because you know, as long as your loved ones and yourself have got your health, as cliche and cheese on toast as it is, your health really is your wealth. And to me, I think that is the best place you can be once you've got your health. And I think me moving forward, when this ends, we're going to see things so differently. Like the amount of gratitude I hope everyone has moving forward. For, I mean, it sounds so silly, but I never really thought about the process of when I'm in a supermarket putting eggs into my basket or picking up a chicken. When this happened and you couldn't get eggs, chicken, bread, flour, you start thinking, gosh, all them years, not that you wasn't grateful for it, you just never thought about it. You just always expected Tesco, supermarket, Sainsbury's, other brands are available, all to be full of these items.
It's the
And when
little
it's
things that
not,
it's the little things we're gonna start appreciating. Just
yeah.
literally like going into the supermarket without even having to queue, or you know, things being in stock. Like now, if you want to go to a supermarket, you've got to queue. I hate queuing, and like all these things, it's amazing. And like, I'm never gonna say no to a night out again.
No, never. You're so right there. 'Cause all them
I,
times, I'll have a
I
quiet
am partying out.
night. I think the first night out that we all have is going to be so weird, though, don't you? To actually be in a bar with multiple people, not be 2 meters apart. And I'm a bit of a kiss when I'm a greeter, so I kiss people. Like, do you know what I mean? You go. So that's been one of the hardest things I had to learn not to do with the 2 meter rule, because literally everyone, I'm a kisser. And
Yeah, me too. It's
I
like in
think,
my culture. We like Iranians. So Iranians,
oh, so it
we
really is.
grab, kiss. We go.
Yeah.
"Mwah." We do two. We do one, like all the
Oh,
time.
I love two. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
one. Yeah, love that. How do you feel after doing such a huge show like Love Island, walking out? How's the experience post Island been for you, babe?
It's literally, it's so weird because there's so many things that I've gotten now that I would have only dreamed of having, and I thought I'm gonna be so happy, but you know, it's just like this roller coaster again. Like that's how I can describe it. There's sometimes I'm like so happy, but then there's other new stresses that have been added into my life that I never used to have. You know, on a positive note, it's been amazing because I get so many amazing messages from people that I've changed like their confidence in terms of their body and you know, body and standing up for themselves. And because you know I'm a bit rowdy, But then, like, on the other side of it, it's like the trolls. So it's like positives and negatives.
So you've touched upon trolling. I don't
That's
know.
why I messaged you. I messaged you because I was like, I saw Amber's, and then I went on to yours and I saw your story, and I was like, can I swear on here? It's
Oh, yeah, go for it.
fucking pisses me off. It's so frustrating. And when I saw your story, I had to reach out to you because I swear to God, when I get trolled, even when there's little messages that I get, it does make a difference just to make you realise that, you know, people do have your back and care.
Thank you. And I really appreciated your message. Like, and it's so kind, and it makes you realise, actually, there's far more good and kind people in life and on social media than there is bad. But sometimes when it gets to a point, I'm all for people having opinions. Have an opinion. That's fine. But when it gets to something that's so derogatory that it's homophobic, or it's a death threat, or it's things like that, or telling someone to commit suicide, who in their right mind would go and tell someone to commit suicide? Because I think, say I wasn't strong enough to not, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go and do that tonight, and then they found out tomorrow that had been the case, how would you then ever live with yourself thinking, I did that? And then their answer is, it's banter, it's a laugh, it's a joke. It's not. And
do you get it every day? Did you get it before you started doing lives, or have you just started getting it since you've done lives?
Basically, I used to get a little. I was really lucky in terms of. See, this is where it becomes ironic. I used to get a bit, but all I'd ever get was about my sexuality. It was nothing else. There were certain other people on the show that was getting stuff for not sexuality reasons. You know,
Other stuff.
for other stuff. Mine was only ever sexuality, and I thought, I'll take that in terms of, because that's nothing I can't change. So it's not me as a person. It's not my personality. It's not my morals. It's something that's out of my hand. It's like hating on me because I've got brown eyebrows. Like, it's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where I got a couple of death threats from people, and I was told that they were sitting outside my house with 11-inch machetes, and then I kind of spoke out about that, and then someone else said, like, yeah, we're going to do the 9-inch blade, and then I got threatened to have acid thrown in my face.
That's so fucked up. Like, how can people, and you know what, it's probably because you spoke about it, that's why people went after it even more, because they knew that was a soft spot. Like, you're sending me death threats, they're going to keep giving it more because they got that attention, because these people are such losers. They've got nothing better in their life. They want to get your attention, Bobby. They want your attention, and then they say, oh, if I send a death threat, I'm going to get his attention.
I've got to get his attention. And it's so dark and twisted. I mean, it's bad enough to say, I'm going to stab you. That ain't nice, you know what I mean? Obs. But to go 11-inch machete, 9-inch blade, why you even decided the amount of inches that you're going to put in me? Like,
because there's something else they want to put in you, Bobby. That's why.
A little bit bad, isn't it?
Bobby, there's something else they want to put in you. That's why.
And to run around saying some stuff, and I thought, no, I've got a thick skin. I've been in this game a really long time. I can take it. I do generally think that it's one of the things that I can kind of just walk off of that back. I'd be lying if I sat and said it doesn't upset me sometimes or bother me. But do I sit and cry into my pillowcase? No. But I'm very aware that 14-year-old Bobby would have. So it's not...
Bobby, not only 14-year-old. When I first came out the villa, I was 29 when I came out the villa, and it bothered me because I had never had it on that scale before, and it was all new to me. Oh, are you there?
Massively. And there's so many... Yeah. Sorry, Booze.
And it was so bad, and I was probably one of the people that got it the worst out of everyone in the villa. I think me and a few people had it worse, and it bothered me so much. And I was crying into my pillowcase for the first few months. I was crying into my pillowcase. My sister had to literally lift me up out my bed. She's like, fix the fuck up. You're a bad bitch. Don't let this bother you. And then now I can finally say, now I've got to a point where it doesn't, sometimes, very rarely, it will bother me, but most of the time, it won't. So I had to go through that process.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'd never lie, because for me, it's all about being open on social media. It does, of course, it hurts. Of course, it's upsetting. I mean, some times they're so ridiculous, I have to almost laugh. Like, and there's things that I think, you know, I could, but it's when I find something has crossed a line to a point that it can become, it's scary, you know, like it's a little bit like. Well, that's actually a threat now. That's not even just someone having shitty banter. That is just not that trolling ever is banter, but in someone's head you can think, oh, are they half trying to just are they just idiots? Which obviously trolls clearly are idiots. And that's why they should live under bridges, because I think anyone who was a human with a good heart and emotions and a conscience wouldn't do that to another person. So I went to Houses of Parliament, Houses of Commons, Downing Street to try and change the law on
Did
this.
you?
Yeah, so last year, so I've been doing campaigning for about a year and a half, just over a year and a half, and a debate was had, and it was like, it's going to get looked at. And then during that time, there was the whole general election, and then Theresa May had left, so that all happened at the same kind of time. And then I heard that they definitely want to look at this again, and I was so excited because I'd heard from them. I was like, right, I'm going to do something about it now. I'm finally going to get that law passed. I'm going to change the law. And then coronavirus broke, and obviously the priorities in Parliament at the minute is to sort the country out, and that's a given. That's quite rightly so. But I just fingers and toes crossed, because I will campaign another 18 months, another 18 years. I will get that changed. I will change the law, because no one should have to put up with it. We've seen too many people taking their own lives, where people just think that words don't matter. Words hurt. You know, the whole story, they say sticks and stones break your bones and all that. Words do hurt. Sometimes they hurt more than a broken bone, because they stay here.
And you know what I think really hurts? Things like, you know, when people get at you about your sexuality, when people get at me about my personality, I don't like it. You know, if someone wants to talk about my looks, oh, you're fat, and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, whatever. But when they try and talk about me as a person, it bothers me more. And it actually...
What do you think it says about them? What, like trolls? Do you have a theory on it?
I think that most of them are really sad, like lonely people. I hate to say it, but like lonely, sad people with problems, like serious problems inside, and they're letting it out. I think it's a lot of jealousy as well. I think people are jealous. But there are some people that are, because sometimes I do click on the troll's profile and I'm like, is this a weirdo or is it not? And then sometimes they're not a weirdo and I'm like, what? You actually have a girlfriend? Like, someone like you has a girlfriend and you're able to have an actual relationship? You're actually tapped. You're obviously tapped. Like, what's going on? So they're the ones that freak me out. But I think most of them are lonely, they're sad, they're jealous, and they just want to get attention. They want a celebrity to reply. You know?
I think they're just desperately lacking any kind of intelligence. I almost pity him, because I think, gosh, imagine your life being a sad little troll, sat there sending abuse to people, and you get your rocks off abusing someone. I dread to think what they're doing in their bedroom whilst they abuse people, but they're clearly liking it a bit too much, you know what I'm saying? So I think some people...
I've never, ever in my life DM'd someone something, ever, or even commented like something negative on someone's profile, ever.
It's just not, it wouldn't be in my mindset. I just wouldn't... If
I don't like something, I'm just like, okay, I'll come off it. Do you know I'm constantly blocking every day? I think I block about 10 people. I'm not joking. I think since I've come out of Love Island, I probably blocked more followers than I have. Like, I literally am blocking non-stop. Like, block. And I don't care anymore. Like, you could be following me. I don't give a shit if I go down in followers. I will block and block and block. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life.
No, it's definitely says a lot about their sad little existence. And you block away, but they've got so much time on their hands, and they're so sad that they are just missing any kind of social skills, that they'll just sit there and recreate another account because they've got nothing else to do. They'll just think, I'm blocked from that, I'll open another email account and I will just start a new page and I'll abuse them again. I think it's like almost borderline obsession.
Yeah, 100%, I agree. But do you know what? Sometimes if you're getting hate, then maybe you're doing something right, babe.
This is the way you got to look at it. A positive spin. Yeah, there's always got to be an element of jealousy to it. And yeah, I think, do you know what? As long as you can kind of own it, and as I've said, for me, it's always been about me trying to change them laws. It wasn't just for me. That was for you, for every single person that goes through that. And I think so many people have the misconception that it's only famous people or people off the telly or people with blue ticks that
Mhm,
get
mhm.
trolled. It's not. So many people are getting trolled, and I get so many messages from parents, partners, brothers and sisters where they're a loved one or a cared one, whatever the relation is, has started to self-harm or they've taken their own life. Like, it is actually that dark. It is life or death. And I think some people don't actually realise that, or they're either that inhumane that they don't even care that some people would hurt themselves, or that they could even mess up their mental health. But do you know what? Enough about their kind of mentality, because when I do finish my campaign, which touch wood starts, and I can get it completed and get that law passed, they won't get away with it for any longer. So I suppose
Yeah.
we should just let them have
It's
their little bit
amazing
of
what you're doing.
fun.
I didn't even know that you were doing that. I had no idea,
Oh,
but
thank
I
you.
will support you every step of the way, whatever you want.
Thank you. Oh, you're an absolute star. Bless you. Thank you so much for doing this live with me. I've
Okay.
loved talking to you.
I've
You're
enjoyed
amazing.
it.
Oh, we should do another one in a few weeks again if you're up for it.
Definitely, definitely.
Take care,
Thank
babe.
you so
Thank
much for
you.
having me.
Thank you for doing
Bye.
it. Bye, bye. Stay
Bye.
safe.